Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and starting with the SP 500 here, we're looking at intermediate wave 3 here, and we're searching for a top here. Now, it appears that the European markets have turned, and we're starting to see a little bit of weakness in the SP 500. I can't confirm if we've got a turn in play or not, so instead of using the wave count today, we really need to look at setups and strategies to be long or short. Okay, yeah, the reason for it's not being clear, I can see from this area here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 1 and back for wave 2 here, and we can have all of this as wave 3 here and wave 4 here, but this is not finishing off very well up here. It's just not a clear count, and there's nothing I can really do about it unless I get into the guessing game, but I'm better off saying that I don't know, and we need strategies to work this. I mean, if there is a top in play here, then we'll be looking for a move back down into this space here, the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So a reasonable move all in all. So I'm just going to cut through to the 1 hour chart into this space here, because this is where our problem is. So the count is fine up until this point here, the wave 4 here, and then we were humming along quite nicely in terms of looking for the next 5 wave structure up as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then back for 2, and then looking at this, we had nice little 5 waves in here, and then another little 5 waves in here. We had 5 waves down here. This little move here just doesn't, you know, we could put this wave 5 on top of this little, but just it didn't count as 5 waves very well. It counted as 3 waves much better. So yeah, look, it is a problem, and I just don't have any answers for it. So the thing is that you know, if this is a wave 5 top here, then we need to look at this being 5 waves down, which it is, but I've just got it as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here, and then I was looking for wave 1 to the upside, as you know, and then wave 2 back down here last time we spoke, and then looking for a move up here. So we are getting that, but of course it can fail. This could also be wave 1 down here with an A wave and a B wave and a C wave back up to here, and then fail and move down from that point. So what I'm suggesting is that we give the market a little bit of space. This is group 2 here, and we know that group 2 is normally the support for the market having a correction at its closest largest number, in this case 2.6 here. So we wouldn't want to short it above you know, above this number here, the 2.572. So if this number here, the 2.572 becomes a retested resistance, then you need to look on the short side and glean a small position here, and we can look to build into that position. However, if this is correct here as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here, then we need to look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then moving to the upside. So basically taking this top out here. It doesn't confirm it that we're going to move further, but it will be a step in the right direction. So on the tick chart here, just looking at all of this, the last time we spoke, I was looking at this as an A wave and a B wave here. This is 100 ticks, by the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the C wave, or 4, and then I was looking for wave 1 to the upside here into this space. So that's all pretty good. So I haven't counted that, but I'll just put that there. And then wave 2 here, we're looking for wave 2 to come back into this space here. I'll just remove that and that. So yeah, I don't know if that's correct. So we're looking for this market to continue to push up here, and if it does, then that's fine, and you can go with that. But the thing is that let's just if I take this top here, because that was a higher one to that low here, then you can see that, I mean, not that the 50 and the 60% retracement level is the BN and end all, but that's its space there. So you know, it can move higher than that as well, but that would normally be the retracement. But it's the fact that we've got like 5 waves to this this space here makes it what it does do, because we've got 5 here after a correction of an A and a B and a C, then it would give us another 5 waves over here. But if it's going to give us another 5 waves over here, then it's really trading, quite above the 61.8% mark here. And in this case, I think we really need to put that in there, because that's really quite central to that being support here, resistance here, consolidation here. So that's a real number to work with. So that would be, support on that would be the safe trade at this point. In terms of trading long and short, as I've mentioned before, let's just get these in. We should be able to get an earlier short trade if that's going to be the case. So we're looking at this here being, under the here being the short trade, but we can really go under that low here. Okay, so just need to move that across over there, sort of based on that low there. It's a bit of a wobbly old line, but there we go. Yeah, and then going long, being on the 2590 here would be where we're looking at being a safer trade there. So really, just summing this up a little bit, I don't know the wave count, because I don't know, this just hasn't finished off properly, and I'm unsure about it, so we need to go into strategy mode here. And this is also the same for the Nasdaq as well. I always figured the Nasdaq still had further to go to the upside, as I've pointed out before. So wave 2 here, I was looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then up for wave 5 here of 3 here, and then looking for 38.2% retracement level here for wave 4, and then moving to wave 5 here. If we have a top, if all of this here was sitting over here, and this wave 3 is in blue here, and wave 4 and wave 5, so if I had to change this at all from wave 2 here, then this top here would be the wave 3 in blue, this would be the wave 4 in blue, and then this would be the wave 5 in blue. It's the only way I can see it fitting in there. It's not really a good look, but that's the way that it would fit. So on the tick chart here we need, so if I just go back to that 4-hour chart there, I didn't really explain that well. So in a nutshell here, this would be the short trade under these lows here, and the long trade can be, same as the S&P, can be above this one here. Okay, so it's more of a I can't give the right analysis, so we just need to be on the right side at the right time. So nailing that down, that's how it would be. So on the tick chart here, pretty much the same as well. Let me just get a few more bars in here. So it does, from the top here, it does count quite nicely down as 5 waves here, as you can see, and then we'd be looking at this as an A wave, and then an A and a B and a C for the B wave here, and then we need to get a C wave up here. I can count 5 waves here as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here. So it could end, normally I expect this 5 waves to move up above here at least. If we were up at the 30 here, the top of group 1, well then it would be a problem. We go long on that support here, but we're not there. We're further down here. Look, the main point here is that if the 6,300 becomes a retested resistance, then we need to be short. But the fact that this is look, I won't say too much. It just confused the issue. But if the 6,300 becomes the resistance, then you need to be on the short side here. And on the short side here, of course, what we would need to see is that when the market, if the market comes down here, then it's going to bounce off here, isn't it? So it's going to come down, it's going to bounce, it's going to move through, and then it's going to come back and check. Once it's checked, then you've got that reference point to work with at that side. If it takes this high out here, then you need to go on the long side, and that's a real possibility, because when I look at, we've been working with Amazon as just a bit of a sidekick here. So with Amazon here, it's much the same. We have wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and we can have wave 5 here because it made a new high here, but I just always figure this is too short. So I've counted it as wave 1, and then we look back for wave 2. So in this case here, it does fit nicely as an A and a B and a C here. So what we can do here too, we can use group 1. So we've got 1, 2 and 3 here off the 100. So if we get a tested support on top of 30, that would be top of group 1, then we can go long from that point. Technically with the levels, it would be this high, and then I'll bring it down to the next high. And that is a high there. It's just a bit loose, so don't use that just yet. Make sure this market, because you don't want to pop it up and come back down, just taking the trade off that one there. So it's really got to come up here and sit on there. So what I'll do is I'll just be extra cautious here today, and we'll look at that high being taken out. But that said, if you can see a nice tested support coming in here, another reference high, then look to take that, because it does appear that we've got 5 waves here making it a 3-wave structure here, so we should take out that high. And then we have this up here. I haven't counted that, but it appears to be impulsive, but we'll see. Anyway, support on that number there would make this trade long. If you're long already, then the stop really needs to go under this current low here, and I'll just put that in red there. But yeah, so that's that. The other thing too I think is quite interesting is the DJ here. So it's had a bit of an extension in here, and I just don't see that's finished from wave 3 to wave 4 here. So I can count wave 1 and 2 here, and then this extension in the third wave here is 1 and 2, and then 5 waves up here for the third, the fourth, and the fifth. This fifth wave doesn't finish very nicely either. I mean, I can see that it's finished. I can count that it's finished in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. And yeah, so I just don't think this trend here is finished on this one yet either. But we haven't really focused on this, so I'm not really going to go into it too much, but just sort of looking around. Anyway, just summing it all up, the markets do appear a bit toppy, and I just can't confirm that we've got a turn in the markets just yet. I don't have a clear 5-wave structure down for these markets just yet. So anyway, they're the triggers, and I'd suggest taking them if they were triggered. Alrighty, cheers.